In the meantime, AstraZeneca and J&J have gotten permission to resume their phase 3 trials. We're waiting to see if Pfizer says anything this week. Meg Terrell wraps up all of this morning. Hey, Meg.
Hey, Carl. Well, it could be a very big week for vaccines, but we're just going to have to wait to see. Meanwhile, J&J and AstraZeneca on Friday both getting the go-ahead to resume their phase 3 vaccine trials, both of which had been paused as they investigated safety events. Now, J&J saying there's no evidence that the vaccine caused the event, and they're not even giving any information about what the event was or whether the person was on the placebo or on the vaccine. AstraZeneca says that the FDA concluded it's safe to resume that trial after a patient experienced a neurological event in this study. Now, I spoke on Friday with J&J's Chief Scientific Officer, Dr. Paul Stoffels, who said he hopes there won't be a major delay from this, and he expects still to potentially see data, they hope, by the end of this year, potentially early next year. AstraZeneca saying the same thing about the timing for potential data. Now, some news out this morning also, some reporting from the Financial Times that there is some data in older patients with the AstraZeneca vaccine saying essentially that it elicited the same immune response in older people as it did in younger people that they were testing this vaccine in. AstraZeneca giving us a statement saying it's encouraging to see immunogenicity responses were similar between older and younger adults, and that reactogenicity, that's the sort of side effects you can sometimes get when you get the vaccine, they say that was lower in older adults where the COVID-19 disease severity is higher. They say these results further build the body of evidence for the safety and immunogenicity of AstraZeneca 1222. Now, we are expecting potentially to see data from Pfizer this week from its phase 3 trial, but that depends on a lot of things, including the rate of infection in the trial and, guys, how well this vaccine works. So we're going to wait to see.
Meg, two things. One, did the administration ever correct the president's, I'd say, boastful comment during the last debate about how J&J is the closest to finishing, given the fact that they were on hiatus? And second, where are we, the president's also touting the Regeneron, where are we in be able to get more of the Regeneron therapeutic product, and how limited is that, given the fact that what we're having is a decline in death, big increase in caseload? Regeneron could really be the key company at this moment.
Yeah, it's going to be limited for that antibody drug. Regeneron says, right now they have about 50,000 doses, and that's enough for 50,000 people if they got the emergency use authorization now. And they expect to bring that up to 300,000 within the next few months. Given the number of people being diagnosed daily with COVID-19, both Regeneron and Eli Lilly, which is also waiting for emergency use authorization, say they expect to have to ration these drugs. Decisions will have to be made about who gets them. So both of them are waiting for the FDA's green light to get that emergency use authorization. Meanwhile, I agree with you, Jim. It was curious. The president noted J&J first when asked about vaccines in the debate, given it was still on pause. Now it's off pause, but they are a little bit further behind in terms of testing the vaccine.
Meg, will there be a kind of a kidney list and a heart list for Regeneron? Will there be a waiting list? It can't obviously just be arbitrary and capricious, can it?
No, you'd expect that there will be prioritization made in terms of which patients are considered right for this drug. One of the interesting things that Regeneron did in testing it was to actually separate patients based on whether they generated their own antibodies in response to the virus before they administered them their antibodies. And of course, that was the situation with the president. And they found people who didn't mount their own immune response actually responded better to the drug. And if we have the capacity to test people in that way, that could be a way of making sure the people who would really benefit the most get the drug.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.